Hello, and welcome back to Doctor Who Season Review. And today we'll be reviewing Season 53, or, as it's mainly called in modern day terms, Series 3. First up, we got The Runaway Bride. Now this is a decent Christmas special. I think it's one of my favourites. It stars David Tennant and Catherine Tate. I think Donna Noble is a fantastic character. I think she's brilliant. And the villain, Harkness, is kind of underused and not really thought after at all. It's okay. The story itself is pretty decent. Lance was annoying, and overall, the ending was pretty sad, to be honest. Next, we got Smith and Jones. Now, this story introduces Martha Jones, who is a brilliant companion, but in the first half of Series 3 just isn't very good. Her character does develop over time and does gradually grow on me, but in the meantime, she's a bit meh for me. The Jadoon, I think, are a worthy addition. I'll get back to them later in a later season. The Jadoon in this are okay. The animatronics are a bit dated, but they look okay in some aspects. The plot is that that the Jadoon are a race of space police from the Shadow Proclamation, which is like an asteroid with which floats in space. Pretty cool, I guess. And in this episode, in particular, their job is to investigate an evil villain criminal who is an alien and has taken the size of a human person. And overall, Smith and Jones is decent. Next, we've got the Shakespeare Code. Now, this story is an homage, or sort of a parody. Well, not really a parody, but like an homage to Shakespeare's play Macbeth, where it has three evil witches, which are the main villains of this story. Where I see what you did there, whoever wrote this story. It's okay. Shakespeare's brilliant in it. The Doctor and Martha, they don't really interact with each other that much. He's looking at her, but he isn't looking at her. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that effect. And like I said in the last one, in the previous story, Martha just doesn't feel anything for me right now. She's got something, but it's just needs to be developed. Next, we got Gridlock, which is most people's favourite. Overall, it's not my favourite. I think it's very bland. The plot is dumb. The characters are dumb. It's got the annoying cat nurses again. Fucking hell. But it has got the face of Bo, which I'll get onto later in the video. The face of Bo in this, he's okay. It's his last dying wish. He tells the Doctor in that dramatic scene that he is not alone, which at least sets up the finale, basically. Overall, it's okay. It was just there. It was just filler. It was just there to build up the finale later on. Next, we got Daleks in Manhattan. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's brilliant or anything. It's alright. The Daleks are okay. The cliffhanger at the end, where that businessman who works for the Daleks turns into Dalek Sec, or becomes Dalek Sec, and he says, "I am a human Dalek." It just looks really creepy and dumb, and the pig slaves, Jesus Christ, it's like Destiny of the Daleks all over again, except less tatty, just more dumb. Overall, the story's bland and it's really dumb. The Daleks do nothing. The villain is stupid, and the cliffhanger is scary, but wouldn't really make me hide my heart behind the sofa. Next, we got Evolution of the Daleks. Now, this is a decent, better part of the story. It's okay. The Daleks still don't do anything. Sec is getting tortured, and which was if the Daleks are gonna torture him, there was like here I have a problem with this story is that there was no point of them creating Dalek Sec. There was no point of creating him, because I knew what they were gonna do in the next episode. They were gonna beat the living shit out of him, and literally kill him, which is what they do. They exterminate him. Why? Because he's too human. He's not Dalek enough. Which I felt was kind of racist to their whole, to the whole belief. Well, they are Nazis, and it's kind of like saying they're killing Jews. Not to confuse with World War II. It's just okay, but like, it just doesn't feel anything for me, and it's a bit sad. Next, we got the Lazarus experiment. Another bland and filler story. It's really dumb. The villain's stupid. Mark Gatiss looks like he's on drugs. First you got old Mark Gatiss, and then you got young Mark Gatiss. He's okay, it's just that he's horrible in this episode. He's horrible. The villain, the CGI is horrible. CGI is not dated very well. I mean, even the Jadoon in Dalek Sec look better than this. Look better than the monster in this. Overall, the Lazarus experiment, it's bland, very bland. But the Doctor takes Martha and says, yeah, alright, he agrees to take Martha with him. Which is always good. And that's when Martha starts to become pretty good for me, I guess. And then from this point onwards. Overall, it's alright. Next, we got 42, which was the first Chris Chibnall story, written by Chris Chibnall. 42, it's bland. The villain is cool, I guess. And there's a quote from the Doctor where he says, "Burn with me." Overall, it's okay. The plot is that these people on a spaceship and they're hurtling to the sun, but the sun's got sort of the supernatural alien thing to it, which possesses one of the crew members. He becomes "Burn with me." The man that says "Burn with me." And overall, it's okay. Just, I wanted more from this story, to be honest. Next, we got Human Nature. Yeah, Human Nature is fine. It's a story where the Doctor turns himself human and becomes John Smith, a teacher in a local school in 1913. This is which is probably a year before World War II starts, or the First World War starts. And there's a schoolboy. He finds the watch that the Doctor turned himself human in by using the chameleon arch, which was used in the TARDIS. So Martha Jones is given one task and one task only, is to be there for the Doctor whenever he becomes a dickhead. And the cliffhanger at the end is pretty decent. Overall, the story is okay. Next, we got the Family of Blood, which I think is better than part 1. It's okay. The ending's quite good. The Doctor sees himself, John Smith finally believes that he can be that he does know he's the Doctor. Finds the way to believe. He uses the watch beforehand and poses as John Smith to fool the Family of Blood, and then he says "run" and runs away and becomes the Doctor. And the ending is pretty good actually, where he puts him away, and that's it. Overall, the story is good. Next, we got the next fan favorite story of all time, Blink. Personally, I think this story is overrated. The Weeping Angels are scary, and I would say they are the most scariest monsters of all time. And it's written by Stephen Moffat. It's obviously going to be fantastic. I just mentioned the Nav Doctor there. Fantastic. Overall, Blink is okay. Sally Sparrow, she's an alright character, I guess. The Doctor and Martha don't really appear in this that much. And overall, it's just a very bland story. And the Weeping Angels are scary, but they don't really do anything. Personally, I don't think. Next, we got Utopia. This is the first part of a 3-parter. It's pretty decent. It's got the return of Captain Jack's Harkness. The series 3 takes place after Torchwood. I think, or is it Torchwood series? Yeah, Torchwood series 1. Takes place after series 1 of Torchwood. But we'll pretend Torchwood doesn't exist. Utopia is a good story. Professor Yano is pretty good. He turns into the Master at the end. Spoiler alert: the Master returns since the 8th Doctor's time, and it's pretty cool, I guess. Overall, the story is very, very, very bland, but I really like the plot and that. And Yanto, I feel so sorry for her, but she's good. Next, we got The Sound of Drums. Now, it's good, but John Simmons is a bit hammy in this story. It's okay. Wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's just not a really good plot, and the plot is dumb. All of it's dumb. Just really dumb, diddly dumb. But the plot is, but Martha, she's pretty good in this actually, and the Doctor is dumb. And finally, we have the last of the Time Lords, which was very disappointing. This story, I was planning on looking for the story to be good, but it just wasn't good. Can we just say that it just wasn't good? Overall, it was okay. It wasn't great or anything. The Master was fine, the Doctor was fine, Jack and Martha were fine, and the ending was pretty decent, I guess. And she goes back to her family, but joins UNIT, and it's pretty good. Overall, Series 3 in a nutshell, it was half and half. The first half was shit, the second half was great, and then the ending was terrible. It was disappointing. Overall, it's okay.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Spider-Man Project 2004 YouTube channel.